Guys, go ahead and turn to page 2 of your social studies article, and we're going to read the bottom section called Harriet the Brave. And this is Harriet Tubman. It says, in 1820, a little girl was born in Maryland. Her name was Araminta, but everyone called her Minty. Minty and her family were slaves. They had no rights or freedom. Minty didn't think this was fair. Minty and her family lived and worked on a plantation, a large farm. They had to work very hard. Even though Minty was only 7 years old, she had to cook, clean, make cloth, pick cotton, and trap animals. She wasn't allowed to go to school. When she made a mistake, she was punished very severely. After Minty got married, she changed her name to Harriet. Harriet was her mother's name, too. One time she saw one of the other slaves trying to run away. The man was caught, but this gave her the idea that someday she would run away too. Harriet heard people talk about the Underground Railroad. This wasn't a real railroad with trains and tracks. It was a name for a group of people who worked together to help slaves get to the states where they could be free. So again, let's review. The Underground Railroad was not a real railroad with trains and tracks. It was actually a group of people who worked together to help slaves get to where they could be free. The people who worked on the Underground Railroads knew slavery was wrong. Harriet's husband, John Tubman, didn't want her to run away. She had to leave secretly. She stayed with people along the Underground Railroad. Finally, she reached Pennsylvania in freedom. Harriet was happy to be free. She wanted to help other slaves be free too. Harriet went back to get her family. Then she went back 18 more times to help people escape from slavery. For the rest of her life, Harriet Tubman continued to help people. She started schools for people who used to be slaves. She helped them find homes, food, and jobs. Harriet Tubman was a brave woman and a real American hero. Okay, now we're going to move on to page 3, and we're going to talk about what is a nonprofit group. Many groups work for the common good of people in their communities and in the world. So we had talked about before about a common good is that you do something that's good for everyone else. For example, if you see a piece of trash, even though it's not yours, and you pick it up and throw it away, you're doing something for the common good. Okay, let's continue. A nonprofit group helps others without making a profit. A profit is money left over after a business pays all of its expenses. So profit is the money left over after you pay for everything. Nonprofit groups use money donated by caring people to help others who are in need. In the United States, they do not have to pay taxes, like most businesses do. There are more than 1 million nonprofit groups in our country. These groups include the YMCA, the American Red Cross, and the Salvation Army. Many churches, schools, and hospitals are nonprofit groups too. Can you name some nonprofit groups in your community? All right, now we're going to move on to the American Red Cross. In 1881, a nurse named Clara Barton started a group that helps people when terrible things like fires and natural disasters happen. She called the group the American Red Cross. It is a non-profit group. The Red Cross helps during natural disasters all over the world. Hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and tornadoes can destroy homes. People can be injured. The Red Cross provides shelter, food, and medical care for people who are hurt or have lost their homes. The American Red Cross also helps people get ready for emergencies before they happen. Red Cross workers give lessons in first aid and water safety. You may know someone who has given blood to help save lives. Red Cross workers volunteer in many areas in the community. Even kids can volunteer for American Red Cross. All right, go ahead and get out your gray sheet and do the questions on the board.